Welcome back to the channel. This is another video on the accounting-based profitability analysis in SAP S/4HANA on margin analysis. Today I will explain how we can post other operating revenues and expenses directly to the profitability segments in margin analysis through using direct account assignment. So I will explain what are the different business cases that we can use direct account assignment in SAP, and I will also demonstrate the process on SAP S/4HANA 2020. Whenever we post an operating expense or revenue in SAP, we must assign it to a cost object. This can be a cost center, internal order, sales order, production order, any kind of orders, a project, or it can also be a profitability characteristic and margin analysis. And this works for both other revenues and other expenses. And one very important note, when we post the other revenues, we cannot post to only a profit center, because in SAP a profit center is a statistical cost object. It's not a real one. This is how SAP is set up. So whenever you post other revenues, if you try to post to a profit center only, SAP will give you an error. You must post to a profit center and another cost object. This can be a cost center that accepts revenues, or an internal order that accepts revenues, or it can also be margin analysis. So this is very useful because when we post other revenues, for example, when we sell an asset, or when we sell scrap, or when we sell anything that's not related to our sales process, any secondary thing, in this case, we can assign the other revenue directly to profitability characteristics. And also for other expenses, when we post any operating expense that's not related to our cost centers, because cost centers are responsibility based. So when we post an expense to a cost center, it means that this cost center is responsible for this cost. But sometimes we have some generic costs that are not related to any specific cost center. And in this case, we can directly post them to profitability segments. And this is very useful. So it depends on the business requirement. But whenever we have another expense that we don't want to post to a cost center or to a specific internal order or so on, we post it directly to profitability characteristics. So now I will show you how we can do this. I will start with a normal financial entry. So let's say a financial posting for other expenses and also for other revenues, and then I will show you how we can assign the posting directly to profitability characteristics, and then I will also show you how we can post from material management. So if we post, for example, a scrap posting, and we want to post it directly to profitability characteristics, I will show you this also. So let's start with the financial posting. To post a financial entry, we can use many transactions. One of them is FB50. So this is a very standard financial posting. We start by inserting the document date, and then we have the currency, we have the posting date, we also have the company code here. So if you click, this is my company code, and then we insert the GL accounts. In the demo today, I'm using two accounts. One is other revenues, the other is other expenses, and this way I can show you how SAP handles both of them. The other revenues account is this one, and once I press enter, SAP will show an error that the account requires an assignment to a CO object. Now let's see if we try to assign only a profit center. But first let's insert, this is a credit, amount is 1000. Now let's try to insert a profit center here. This is maybe not related to the video a lot, but this is one of the most common errors that people complain from. So you need to know that a profit center cannot work as a cost object. So here we have the profit center. If I insert 1000 and enter, so I have this profit center here, enter, SAP is still giving me the error. Why? Because a profit center is not a real cost object. This is a revenue account. So some people may say it cannot work with cost accounts. It can also not work with revenue accounts. Here I'm using a revenue account. I'm trying to post it to a profit center, and SAP is giving me an error. So even for other operating revenues, you must have a cost object. The cost object can be any one of this list, and if you check, there's no profit center here. So a profit center in SAP is not a real cost object, and it cannot be used as a cost object for posting. Now let's close this and let's assign a profitability characteristic. So if you go to the right, here we have profitability segment. Click here, and we have all the characteristics we have available in our operating concern. here you can maintain the values you want. There is a very important rule here. Any value you maintain here is what you get in the margin analysis reports. So for example, if I assign this revenue to a customer, on margin analysis reports, I will be able to see it on the level of the customer. But if I assign it to a plant, then in margin analysis, I will only be able to see it on the level of the plant. The system cannot improvise the different characteristics. It can maybe do some kind of distribution that we will see. I will show you how to do later in other videos. But here you need to decide what is the level of details you need. So if this revenue is related to a plant only, then it will only be seen on the plant level, because sometimes the other revenue is actually not related to any customers. So it doesn't make sense to distribute it on the level of the customer. In my example, now I will insert a customer and a product, and then I will also insert a plant and enter. Now if you check the profitability segment again, you will see that SAP automatically filled the other characteristics based on the derivation rules that we maintained. So if you go down, we have here the division, the functional area. We also have the country, the trading partner, and we also have the characteristics that we maintained in the last videos. The region and without value maintenance and so on. So SAP will apply the same derivation rules as if we are posting from sales orders. It's the same thing. Now let's click on continue. And I will insert the second line for the other expenses, and this one is the same, but it starts with a 7. And again, SAP is asking for a cost object. We can use a cost center, a profitability segment, but for this demo, for this GL account, I have forbidden the use of a cost center. So if the user by mistake tries to assign a cost center here, SAP will throw an error. So let's say cost center 1000. SAP is giving an error that an entry in the cost center is not permitted for account and the account number. So this way I am forcing the users to actually use the profit segment, the profitability segment. They cannot post this expense to cost centers. And this is very important. And we can control all of this from the field status variant in the GL account. Let me show you this after we post the financial entry. So I will remove the cost center, and then I will insert the value 1000, and this is a debit. And let's go to the right to profitability segments. And again, I will assign it. So this is another expense. Let's say that it's not related to any customer, but it's related to the plant, for example. And this is it, continue. So I only assigned it to the plant, and SAP will automatically fill the other related characteristics. So the plant will also derive this value, which is fixed, and there is no other value available for the other characteristics. So this way in margin analysis, I will only be able to report this cost on the level of the plant. Continue. And then post. Now if we display the document, here we have the financial entry, and then if you click on environment, document environment, accounting documents, we can also see the controlling document here. If you open it, here we have a profitability document. So if we open this, we have profitability segments. This is the profitability segment number, and we have the different values. Now if we check the ACA-DOCA table, /O SE16N, the Universal Journal, ACDOCA, and we insert our company code and our ledger. I already explained all of this in the last videos, so if there is anything you don't understand, please check the rest of the videos in the playlist. And fiscal year 2021, this, and let's execute. And here at the top, we have the 2 lines that were just posted. And this is one of the very good things about Universal Journal, as I explained before. We have 2 lines that are posted to both the profitability segments, to margin analysis, and also to financial accounting. So the same 2 lines, they have here the accounting document number, and they have here the profitability document number. And we have the account, and we have the profitability segment, and the different characteristics that we maintained in the financial entry. So this way, this financial entry has been posted to margin analysis, and we will be able to see it in our reports there. Now let me show you the financial statement version of the GL account, so we understand how to control this. To display the master data of a GL account, go to transaction FS00. And then here we have our other operating expense account. If you go to create bank interest, here we have the field status group. And if you open this, here we have the additional account assignment, and inside, go back, additional account assignment, and inside we have the different cost objects or the different account assignments that are allowed for this GL account. If you check here, I have the cost center. Cost center is suppressed, which means that no one can use the cost center. This is why when we try to post to a cost center, SAP give us an error. And this is how I control that the users don't do this mistake and post to a cost center. We can also see that a profitability segment here is a required entry. So this way I'm forcing the users to insert a profitability segment. To understand the full configuration behind the field status variance, I have maintained all the steps in the configuration manual that I maintained in the Elite Members Document Library. I will also do another video to explain quickly how to configure the field status variant of the GL account. Now let's go back and let's see another example. This time I'm going to post directly to profitability segments from material management. So let's say we have some materials that we are going to post as a scrap expense, and we are going to do this using the transaction MIGO, post a goods issue, MIGO, and we choose goods issue, other, and then we insert a movement type that allows posting to profitability segments. So the same concept of field status variant that applies to the GL account, it also applies to material management movement types. Every movement type allows posting to certain fields. So for example, if I try to post using 261, so if we insert the material code here, FG01, and then we go to account assignment, you will not be able to see profitability segment here. You only have order, and as you see it is blue, which means it is a mandatory field. The reason is this is a goods issue order from project, so the field status of this movement type is configured, so it forces the user to use an order. Now if I want to post to a profitability segment, I can use another standard movement type such as 291. This one allows posting to all cost assignments. So if you do this, if you change it here, and then you must change it here also in the line item. So go to where, and we change it here also. Now we will be able and remove the queue. Now if you go to account assignment, you can see profitability segment. So the movement type controls the fields that we can post to, and also the field status variant of the GL account that we use here. So when I insert my expense account here, for example, enter. Now if I try to post, so let's say check, we need to insert the quantity first. Okay, so let's fill the other fields. I'm going to issue 10 pieces from this chair, from this plant, AG01. Storage location is 171B, enter. Now if I try to post account assignment, you will see that we have an error. Account requires an assignment to a CO object. So SAP is checking both the field status variance for movement type and also for the GL account. Now let's say okay, and let's insert a cost center, for example. Again, try to post. Field profitability segment is a required field for GL account. So SAP is checking the field status variant of the GL account also. Now let's remove the cost center, and I will insert a profitability segment. So I will insert it. And as you see now, because we are posting from material management, SAP automatically filled the product code, which is coming from the material, and also filled the plant and the company code. I can also add a customer if I want. I can leave it empty. We can also check the other values available. So maybe I can insert a country, for example. The country will be filled automatically with derivation if we click here. We don't have a country, so let's say FR. And now I have inserted the profitability characteristics that I need, and I can post the transaction to margin analysis. Now if we display the document, we can go here to display, enter, document info, FI documents. We have accounting document and a controlling document. So the same as when we posted with FB50. So if you check the controlling document here, we have profitability segment, and we have the different details. If we go to Akadoka and we refresh the table, here we have 2 lines that were posted when we did the goods issue, and also we have the profitability segment and the different details. So this way we posted this expense directly to profitability segments from material management. I will also do another video explaining how to configure the field status variant of the movement type in order to allow posting to profitability segments, and also in order to hide the cost center. So this way we force the users to insert a profitability segment, and I will also add the configuration steps to the configuration manual in the Elite document library. I hope you found this video on margin analysis interesting and useful. Don't forget to check the rest of the videos in the playlist. I will leave you a link to the next video somewhere here, and I will leave you a link to the last video in the recommended videos up there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.